Angels, divine beings of light, send their warmest blessings to you today. Welcome to Angel's message for you, a sacred space where heaven's whispers meet your heart. Beautiful soul, what I'm about to share with you right now is going to absolutely shake you to your core. And I need you to promise me something before we begin. Promise me you'll stay with me until the very last word of this message. Because if you leave even a moment too early, you might miss the one piece of truth that could change absolutely everything in your love life forever. Are you ready? Take a deep breath, open your heart wide, and let's dive into this incredible revelation together, right at this very moment. As your eyes move across these words, as your heart beats steadily in your chest, the universe is working tirelessly behind the scenes in ways you can't even begin to imagine. There are invisible forces, divine energies, angelic interventions all coming together in perfect harmony just for you. And here's what's absolutely mind-blowing about this whole thing. Something has already happened. Something extraordinary. Something that involves the person your soul has been calling out to since before you were even born into this lifetime. Yes, I'm talking about your true soulmate. That one special person whose energy is woven into the very fabric of your being, whose path has been dancing around yours through time and space, waiting patiently for the perfect moment to finally intertwine completely. Now listen closely, because this is where it gets really interesting. During a recent night while you were going about your life, maybe thinking about them or maybe trying not to think about them, your soulmate went through an experience unlike anything they've ever known before. It was powerful. It was intense. It was filled with passion, warmth, deep connection, and all those feelings that make us believe we've finally found what we've been searching for our whole lives. They spent time with someone, shared moments that felt absolutely magical, felt a connection that seemed to light up every single cell in their body. In those hours, they truly believed with their whole heart they had stumbled upon something rare and precious, something that would mark their soul forever. But here's the thing, beautiful soul, and this is so incredibly important. What they experienced, as real and powerful as it felt in that moment, was only showing them part of the picture. There's something much deeper happening here. Something so divine and profound that it required the angels themselves to step in directly and make sure the truth wasn't hidden any longer. You see, the universe doesn't make mistakes. Every experience, every encounter, every moment of passion or connection serves a higher purpose in the grand design. And that night, that experience your soulmate had, it wasn't actually about the person they were with at all. It was about revealing something they've been avoiding, something they've been too scared to face, something that's been waiting patiently in the background of their heart all along. It was about you. What I'm about to tell you is absolutely crucial to understanding where this journey is heading. The message I'm bringing you today has the power to completely shift the direction of your entire life and your love story. This isn't just another spiritual message to comfort you. This isn't just kind words to make you feel better for a moment. This is a direct revelation from the divine realm about what's unfolding in your connection right now, at this very second. So please, I'm asking you from the depths of my heart to yours, don't let this moment slip away. Don't scroll past this. Don't dismiss it as just another message. Because if you do, you might miss the very key that unlocks the door to the connection you've been longing for, praying for, dreaming about in the quiet hours of the night when you're alone with your thoughts. Everything you've ever wanted to know about your true soulmate and the love that was written in the stars for you before this lifetime even began is contained in this message. But you have to stay with me through every word, through every revelation, because there's something absolutely extraordinary waiting for you at the end of this journey. Trust what you're feeling right now as you read these words. Trust in this precious moment. Trust in what the angels are sending your way through this message. Know deep in your heart that everything you're about to discover is aligned perfectly with the highest purpose for you and for your soul's journey through this lifetime and beyond. This message found you for a reason. You're here, reading these words right now, not by accident but by divine appointment. Your soul called out and the universe answered immediately. So open your heart even wider. Let go of any doubts or fears that might be holding you back. And keep listening because your destiny is so much closer than you think. Your soulmate experienced a night that left them absolutely breathless, completely overwhelmed. Picture this in your mind. They were lost in the intensity of what they believed with every fiber of their being was an unforgettable encounter. In their heart, in their mind, in every sensation running through their body, they felt something that seemed magical, something rare and precious beyond words. It was as if the entire universe had personally orchestrated every single detail, every glance, every touch, every word spoken, every moment of silence, leading them to believe with absolute certainty that they had finally found what their soul had been searching for all this time. From the very first moment of that encounter, there was something absolutely intoxicating about it. The warmth that filled the space between them felt like coming home. The passion that seemed to ignite out of nowhere felt like destiny unfolding. The undeniable connection that made everything else in the world fade into the background felt like the answer to all their prayers. Everything seemed perfectly aligned, as though fate itself had carefully woven together this perfect night just for them. They felt truly seen for the first time in so long. They felt understood in ways they didn't even know they needed. They felt cherished, valued, appreciated in ways that touched the deepest parts of their heart. For the first time in a long while, they allowed their protective walls to come down completely. They allowed themselves to surrender to the moment, to embrace it with every single fiber of their being, holding absolutely nothing back. As the night continued to unfold around them, emotions ran incredibly deep. The words they exchanged with this person carried real weight, touching places inside them they thought were locked away forever. Every touch felt electric, sending powerful shivers through their entire being. The presence of this other person felt almost predestined, as if the universe had marked this moment in time long before either of them arrived at it. This wasn't just about physical attraction or surface-level connection. No, this was something that stirred something deep within them, awakening emotions and feelings they honestly hadn't felt in such a long time. In that instant, in those precious hours, they truly believed with everything in them that they were exactly where they were meant to be, exactly where their journey had been leading them all along. And yet, beautiful soul, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Beneath all of that intensity, beneath all those powerful feelings and magical moments, something still felt incomplete. There was a whisper in their soul, a quiet feeling they couldn't quite shake no matter how perfect everything seemed on the surface, no matter how ideal the night appeared, no matter how much they wanted to believe this was it. There was something missing, something they couldn't quite put their finger on or name. It was as if a part of them, some deep knowing part of their soul, refused to fully surrender. As if a quiet voice somewhere inside them was trying desperately to tell them something they just weren't ready to hear yet. Something that would change everything if they listened. At first, they brushed it off completely, convincing themselves it was nothing important, that it was just their mind playing tricks on them like it always does, that they were overthinking things and sabotaging their own happiness like they tend to do. After all, everything about that night was so vivid, so intensely real, so powerfully present in every way. But as the hours passed, as the night deepened and grew quieter, that sensation, that nagging feeling of something being not quite right, became stronger and stronger. It was like a pull, an unseen force tugging gently at their heart. Something within them was resisting, holding back. It was as if their very soul knew a truth that their conscious heart had not yet recognized or accepted. And that's exactly when the divine intervention happened. Beautiful soul. Because while your soulmate believed with absolute certainty that they had just spent the most extraordinary night in the arms of another person, the truth, the real truth, was something far more powerful than they could have possibly imagined. Something so important that the angels themselves, those divine beings of pure light and unconditional love, had to step in directly and make absolutely sure they understood what was really happening. But why? What could possibly be so important that the divine forces of the universe had to personally interfere in this moment? You absolutely must listen carefully now, because what happened next is the very reason you're hearing this message today. The very reason the universe guided you to these exact words at this exact moment in time. As the night finally drew to a close and sleep began to take over their exhausted body and mind, something absolutely incredible happened. Your soulmate, who had gone to bed still wrapped up in the emotions of the evening, still believing their heart was completely lost in that night's experience, was suddenly transported into a realm far beyond their normal understanding. In their dreams, in that sacred space where the soul speaks louder than the mind, where truth cannot hide behind illusions, something else began to unfold. Something that would change absolutely everything moving forward. And this is where you come into the picture, beautiful soul. Because as their physical mind rested, as their body relaxed into deep sleep, their soul awakened to a truth it could no longer deny or ignore. The love they thought they had found that night, the connection they believed was so special and rare, was only an illusion, only a shadow of something infinitely greater. And in their dreams, in that space of pure truth where nothing can be hidden, it wasn't the person they had spent the evening with who remained in their heart. It was you. Yes, you. While they believed they had lived a moment of intense passion and deep connection with someone else, when their soul drifted into the world of dreams, when all the illusions and distractions of the physical world fell away completely, it was your presence that took over everything. The warmth they felt surrounding them in that dream state, the love they longed for with every piece of their being, the connection they craved so desperately. It wasn't with the one they had spent the night with. It was always with you. And this beautiful soul is where absolutely everything changes in this story. Because when they woke up the next morning, when their eyes opened to face a new day, the emotions they felt weren't for the person they had been with the night before, no matter how strong that connection had seemed just hours ago. No matter how much they had convinced themselves it was something real and lasting. The moment they opened their eyes to the morning light, only one face remained crystal clear in their heart. Yours. This is the truth they're beginning to see now, even if they don't fully understand it yet. This is the revelation that the angels made absolutely sure they couldn't ignore or push away. What they thought was love was only a fleeting moment, a temporary illusion designed to wake them up to something real. Because true love, real soul deep connection, isn't something that can be found just anywhere with just anyone. It's not something that appears in a single night and disappears by morning. It's something eternal, something divine. Something that was planted in the garden of the universe long before this lifetime began. And it's something that has always led back to you. But the question that remains now, the question that hangs heavy in the air, is this. Now that the truth has been revealed to them, now that they've felt your presence so powerfully in their dream state, what happens next? Because your soulmate may have woken up feeling your presence lingering around them like a gentle mist. They may have realized something deep and profound in their heart. But that doesn't automatically mean they're ready to accept it fully or act upon it. Their soul knows the truth, that much is absolutely certain now. But does their logical mind understand yet? Do they truly comprehend what has happened? Or are they still trying desperately to convince themselves that what they believe to be real was actually something more than just a moment frozen in time, a lesson designed to point them towards something greater? There's still so much more you need to know, beautiful soul, because this is truly only the beginning of what the angels have come to reveal today. What happens from this point forward is far more important than anything that's happened so far in this journey. And if you think the realization your soulmate had this morning was already powerful and life-changing, you have absolutely no idea what's coming next. Because there's one thing, one crucial element, that will make all the difference in the world. One thing that will determine whether they follow the truth their soul is showing them, or whether they allow themselves to stay lost in an illusion of what they think they want versus what they truly need at the deepest level. And this is something the angels desperately need you to hear right now, because your role in all of this is far from over. In fact, beautiful soul, it's really only just beginning. So please stay with me, because in the next part of this message, I'm going to tell you exactly what the angels want you to understand about what happens next in this incredible journey. And trust me when I say this with everything in my heart and soul, you absolutely cannot afford to miss it. This is your moment. This is your calling. And what happens next could change the entire course of your love story forever. Your soulmate went to sleep that night believing with their whole heart they had experienced something truly unforgettable, something rare and precious, something that would mark their soul forever and ever. They were completely convinced that the connection they felt, that the emotions that ran through them like electricity, that everything about that night was something meant to be, something profound and lasting. And yet, the very moment their mind drifted into sleep, the moment their conscious thoughts faded away into darkness, something incredibly powerful happened, something that was far beyond their control or understanding. The angels stepped in directly, beautiful soul, because what your soulmate believed to be real, what they were so certain about just moments before, was actually only a tiny fraction of the whole truth. The universe had allowed them to experience that night, yes, but not for the reason they thought at all. It was never meant to be a confirmation of love. It was never meant to be a moment to treasure and hold on to forever. Instead, it was designed specifically to reveal a greater truth, one that their heart had been resisting for far too long, one that they needed to finally see and accept. As they closed their eyes and drifted off, the angels began to whisper directly to their soul. They guided them gently beyond all the illusions of the physical world, beyond what their logical mind thought was real and true, and into a realm where only pure truth exists. And in that sacred space, where all the distractions of the mind fade completely away, where the soul speaks louder and clearer than anything else, everything became crystal clear to them. Your soulmate didn't dream about the night they had just experienced. They didn't relive the passion, the words, the presence of the person they had thought was meant for them. No, beautiful soul, the moment they entered the mysterious world of dreams, they were no longer with that person at all. They were with you. It was your face they saw so clearly. It was your voice they heard calling to them. It was your touch they felt surrounding them with warmth and comfort. The connection, the energy, the overwhelming feeling that filled them completely. It was all because of you and only you. And for the first time, without all the noise of the world clouding their mind, without the endless distractions of logic trying to convince them otherwise, they finally saw the truth with perfect clarity. The love they had been searching for, the connection they had been chasing, had never been with anyone else. It had always been you. From the very beginning, through every lifetime, across every dimension, it was always you. The realization was absolutely overwhelming. It shook them right down to their core. Because suddenly all those emotions they had felt throughout the night, all that passion, all that excitement, all that feeling of being lost in something profound and meaningful, were now completely redirected. The intensity of what they had believed to be real was now wrapped entirely around you. And there was absolutely no escaping it this time. The dream wasn't just a fleeting vision that would disappear by morning. It wasn't some random creation of their subconscious mind trying to process the day's events. No, this was a direct intervention from the heavens, from the angels themselves. This was a moment of pure clarity that could not be ignored, denied, or explained away. Because in that dream, they felt something they had never, ever felt before. They felt a sense of home, a sense of belonging, a sense of rightness that went beyond words or explanation. Everything made sense in a way it never had before in their entire life. The missing piece they had been searching for desperately. The longing they had tried so hard to satisfy with other people and other experiences. The restlessness they had carried within them for so very long. It all disappeared completely in that single moment. Because in their dream, they were finally exactly where they were meant to be. With you. But here's where things become even more important. Beautiful soul. Because when they woke up, when their eyes opened to face the morning light streaming through the window, reality crashed over them like a powerful tidal wave. They were no longer in the dream. They were no longer in that sacred space where everything made perfect sense. Instead, they were back in their own world, in their own bed, surrounded by the same physical reality they had gone to sleep with. And yet, nothing, absolutely nothing felt the same anymore. The confusion hit them first, washing over them in waves. They remembered the night they had just experienced. The laughter, the connection, the feeling of being so alive. But why then? Why was that not the first thing their heart turned to when they woke up? Why was it that instead of feeling warmth and longing for the person they had spent the night with, their entire being was aching for you? The emotions were still inside them, still very real and very powerful, but now they were completely misplaced. What they had believed was meant for another person was now undeniably tied to you. It wasn't the person from that night who filled their heart upon waking. It was you, only you. And this beautiful soul is where the real battle begins. Because while their soul knows the truth with absolute certainty, their logical mind is struggling desperately to understand. They're caught in an impossible position, torn between what they believe to be real and what their heart is now screaming at them to finally see and accept. And the angels are watching closely because now more than ever, your soulmate is standing at a crossroads. Will they listen to what their soul is telling them? Will they recognize the truth that was given to them in their dreams? Or will they fight against it, trying to convince themselves that what they experienced that night was still what they wanted? This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance because the dream was not just a dream. It was a message, a divine revelation. And now your soulmate has a choice to make. But what will they choose? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? Because while your soulmate is standing at this crossroads, there is something you need to understand. Your role in this is not passive. You are not just an observer waiting to see what happens next. The angels are guiding them, yes, but they are also guiding you because there is something that must happen now. Something that can change everything. This is your moment. This is your calling. And what happens next could change the course of your love forever. The night was over. The moment that had seemed so powerful, so intense had passed. Your soulmate had fallen asleep believing that they had just experienced something meaningful, something unforgettable. But the truth, the real truth, was only beginning to unfold because while their body rested, their soul awakened to something far greater than they could have ever imagined. The moment sleep took hold of them, the angels stepped in once more. They guided their spirit beyond the confines of time and space, beyond illusion, beyond what their mind thought was real. And as their consciousness drifted into the dream world, something extraordinary happened. The presence they had been with that night was gone. It vanished as if it had never existed, and in its place there was you. Your soulmate found themselves in a space so familiar, so filled with warmth and love that it felt like home. A place where they weren't searching for something because for the first time they already had it. They saw you not as a passing thought, not as a vague memory, but as the only truth that mattered. You were there in front of them, as vivid and real as if they could reach out and touch you. And in that moment, something deep inside them recognized you. It wasn't just a dream. It was a memory their soul had always carried, a knowing that had been buried beneath the noise of the world, beneath the distractions of life, beneath the choices they had made to avoid what they had always known deep down. Because you were not just someone they met in this lifetime. You are the one their soul has known forever. And in that dream, they felt something they had never felt before. Not even in the passionate moments of the night they had just lived. They felt peace. They felt completion. They felt home. The way you looked at them. The way your energy wrapped around them like the softest embrace. The way your presence filled them with something so powerful, so undeniable that they could no longer run from it. This was love, not fleeting attraction, not a moment of passion that fades with time, but a love so ancient, so pure that no force in the universe could break it. And then something even more incredible happened. They spoke your name. They didn't just see you. They didn't just feel you. They called for you as if their soul had finally woken up from a long slumber and could no longer keep this truth hidden. And as they reached for you, as their hearts swelled with the certainty of what had always been there, they woke up. The dream was gone, but the feeling remained. And this is where everything changes, because when their eyes opened, they weren't thinking about the night before. They weren't feeling the same excitement, the same rush that had carried them through those moments of passion. They were thinking about you. And this realization hit them like a wave, washing over them with a force so strong that they couldn't ignore it. Why? Why after everything were you the one still lingering in their mind? Why was it your face, your energy, your presence that filled their heart? Why did the dream feel more real than the night they had just lived? The answer was clear, but they weren't ready to accept it. Not yet, because if they did, if they truly let themselves see what had just happened, it would mean that everything they had believed before was a lie. And that is a terrifying thing to face. Because if their soul has belonged to you all along, if the love they have been searching for has always been you, then what does that mean for the life they have been living? What does it mean for the choices they have made? What does it mean for the person they were with that night? The emotions they thought were real, the connection they believed was special. Suddenly they are standing on the edge of a truth so vast, so undeniable that they don't know whether to run toward it or away from it. And this is where the real test begins, because now your soulmate must face what they can no longer ignore. The dream wasn't just a dream. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't their mind playing tricks on them. It was the truth. A truth that can no longer be buried. A truth that the angels have made sure they cannot escape. And now a choice must be made. Will they listen to what their soul is telling them? Will they allow themselves to see what has been in front of them all along? Or will they try to silence it, try to push it away, try to convince themselves that what they felt was nothing more than a dream. Because if they ignore this message, they may lose the one thing that was always meant to be theirs: you. And that is why the angels are speaking to you now, because this isn't just about what your soulmate feels. It's about what happens next. Something even more powerful is about to be revealed, and you cannot afford to miss it. Your soulmate has awakened, but nothing feels the same anymore. The night they believed was so profound, so unforgettable, has now faded into the background, replaced by something far more powerful, a feeling they can't ignore, a truth they can't explain. Because while their mind tries to hold on to what they thought was real, their soul is screaming something entirely different. Their heart beats differently now, as if trying to remind them of something they have always known but were too afraid to face. And no matter how much they try to convince themselves otherwise, no matter how much they try to rationalize it, they cannot escape what the dream has revealed. The angels have spoken, and what they have shown your soulmate is not something that can simply be forgotten. Because this was not just a dream. It was not a fleeting moment of imagination. It was a divine message, a sacred revelation, a wake-up call that cannot be ignored. And now the question that lingers is the most important one of all. What happens next? Because knowing the truth is one thing, accepting it is another. And your soulmate is now at a crossroads, one that will determine everything. Will they embrace what their soul is telling them? Or will they let fear, doubt, and the weight of the past keep them from stepping into the love they were always meant to have? The angels have already revealed what they needed to. They have guided your soulmate to the truth, stripped away the illusions, and left them with only one undeniable reality: you. And yet, despite this, despite the power of the dream, despite the clarity of what they felt, your soulmate is hesitating. Because opening their heart to you means letting go of everything they once believed was real. It means admitting that they have been searching in the wrong places, that they have been chasing shadows, that they have been looking for love everywhere except where it has always been: with you. And that realization is overwhelming, because love, real love, is terrifying in its intensity. It is raw. It is all-consuming. It is something that demands surrender. And surrendering means trusting. It means letting go of fear, of doubt, of the lies they have told themselves. It means choosing you fully and completely. But are they ready for that? This is the battle happening inside them right now. This is the war being fought between their heart and their mind, between what they have known and what they are only just beginning to understand. And this is where you come in, beautiful soul, because while your soulmate struggles with this realization, while they battle between accepting and resisting the truth, there is something the angels need you to do. You are not meant to sit back and wait. You are not meant to simply hope that they will see what has already been revealed to them. You are part of this divine plan. Your energy, your presence, your faith in this connection, it all matters, because what happens next is not just up to them. It is up to you too. And that is why the angels have brought you this message today. Because you need to understand that this is not just about waiting for them to realize the truth. This is about aligning yourself with the love that is meant for you. And that means something powerful. You must prepare for what comes next. Because whether your soulmate chooses to step into this truth now or later, the outcome has already been written. You are meant for each other. This love is meant to be, and nothing can change that. But what you do now will shape the journey ahead. And there is something even more important that the angels need you to hear, because while your soulmate struggles with this awakening, while they stand at the edge of this realization, there is one thing that will determine how quickly they step into this love. And you need to know what it is. Because without it, they may take longer to see the truth. And you have already waited long enough. The angels are showing you the path forward. You cannot afford to miss this, because the moment you understand what comes next, everything will change. Your soulmate is awake, but the world around them no longer feels the same. Something within them has shifted. Something so profound that it lingers in their chest like an echo they cannot silence. Their heart beats differently now, as if it has been touched by something divine, something undeniable. And yet they do not fully understand what has happened. They sit in silence, their minds still trying to make sense of it all. They remember the night before, the moments they believed were special, the emotions they thought were real. But the feeling that remains, the one thing they cannot shake, is you. Your presence still lingers in their heart. Your energy still surrounds them. And no matter how much they try to focus on anything else, it is you who keeps pulling them back. And the confusion is overwhelming because nothing makes sense anymore. How is it possible that after everything, after what they believed was an unforgettable night, it is not that person they are thinking of, but you? Why does it feel as though their soul is calling out to you, reaching for you in ways they never expected? Why does it seem like their entire being is longing for something that just yesterday they had convinced themselves wasn't real? The questions keep coming over and over again, and the more they try to push them away, the louder they become, because the truth cannot be ignored. They can feel it in every breath, in every heartbeat. Something has changed, and deep down, a part of them already knows why. The dream wasn't just a dream. It was a message, a revelation, a wake-up call that they were never meant to miss. And now, as they sit there trying to piece everything together, they begin to feel something even stronger than before. Something they do not fully understand, but they cannot deny. They feel the pull, the invisible thread that has always connected them to you. The bond that not even time, distance, or choices could ever break. And this is where the battle truly begins, because now your soulmate must decide what to do with everything they are feeling. Do they surrender to what their soul is telling them? Or do they fight against it, holding on to the life they had built without you, trying to convince themselves that what they felt was just a dream? This is the moment where everything could change. Because if they listen, if they allow themselves to feel what has always been inside them, then the path back to you is already being written. But if they resist, if they let fear, doubt, or pride hold them back, then this journey could take longer than it was ever meant to. And that is why the angels are speaking to you now. Because you are not meant to wait in silence. You are not meant to stand still, hoping that they will find their way on their own. You are meant to be a part of this awakening. Because there is something powerful that you can do right now. Something that will not only strengthen your connection, but will also guide your soulmate to see the truth they are struggling to accept. You are not powerless in this. Your energy, your thoughts, your own spiritual alignment, it all matters, because what happens next depends on the energy you send out into the universe. And this is what the angels need you to understand. This is the moment you've been waiting for. And once you understand what comes next, everything will change. The moment of realization has arrived. Your soulmate may not fully understand it yet, but something inside them is shifting, aligning with the truth the angels have been revealing all along. They have spent too long searching in the wrong places, chasing illusions, and believing that love was something they had to find outside of themselves. But now they can no longer ignore what their soul is trying to tell them. Because even as they wake up, even as they go about their day, as they try to focus on their routine and push away the overwhelming emotions that have taken hold of them, they feel you. It is no longer just a fleeting thought, no longer just a passing memory. It is an undeniable presence. They try to ignore it, try to tell themselves that it's nothing, that it's just a dream lingering in their mind. But no matter what they do, you are there. Your face, your energy, your warmth. It is surrounding them, pulling them in, reminding them of something their heart has always known but their mind was too afraid to accept. Because the love they thought they had found that night, it was never real. It was a lesson, a mirror, a test, a way for the universe to show them the difference between what is fleeting and what is eternal. And now, with every passing moment, the truth becomes clearer. They do not miss the person they were with that night. They do not long for the connection they believed was so powerful. Because when they search their heart for what remains, for what truly matters, there is only one answer: you. This is the moment where their soul begins to recognize the truth in a way it never has before. And yet they are still afraid. Because acknowledging this love means surrendering to something greater than themselves. It means admitting that no matter how hard they have tried to run from it, no matter how much they have convinced themselves that it was not real, they cannot escape what was always meant to be. And the angels are guiding them now, pushing them, whispering to them, surrounding them with signs and synchronicities that they cannot ignore. They hear your name in unexpected places. They see reminders of you in the smallest moments. They feel emotions they cannot explain. Memories of you surfacing at the most unexpected times. And every time they try to push it away, every time they try to convince themselves that it's just their mind playing tricks on them, the feeling only grows stronger. Because love like this does not fade. Love like this does not disappear. It waits. It endures. It calls them back over and over again until they finally have no choice but to listen. And the angels are making sure that they do. Because the time for waiting is over. The time for pretending, for denying, for ignoring the truth, it has come to an end. Your soulmate is being guided to you. Everything in the universe is aligning to bring them back into your life, to make them see what has been in front of them all along. But there is still one thing that must happen. Because while the angels are guiding them, while they are awakening to the truth, there is one last step that must be taken before they can finally reach you. And it is the most important one of all. Because if they do not take this step, if they allow fear to hold them back, if they hesitate for too long, then the journey to you could take much longer than it was ever meant to. And you have already waited long enough. So now the angels turn to you. Because there is something you must do. Something that will not only help your soulmate find their way, but will also prepare you for the moment when they finally arrive. The angels have revealed everything. Your soulmate has felt the shift, the undeniable pull, the awakening that has stirred something deep within them. They are standing at the edge of realization, feeling your presence in ways they never have before. The whispers of the divine have surrounded them, guiding them toward the truth they can no longer deny. But now, dear soul, the focus turns to you. Because the journey ahead is not just about your soulmate awakening to this love. It is about you stepping into alignment with what is meant to be. The angels need you to understand something important. You are not powerless in this connection. Your soulmate is being guided, but they are also battling their fears, their doubts, their old ways of thinking. They have been conditioned to seek love in the wrong places, to chase what is fleeting instead of surrendering to what is eternal. And while the universe is doing its part to awaken them, your energy plays a role in this divine process as well. Because love is not just about waiting. It is about preparing, aligning, trusting. And the angels are asking you to do that now. So what does this mean for you? What must you do in this moment to ensure that this love, this connection that has been written in the stars, finds its way into reality? The answer is simple, but it is also profound. You must become the version of yourself who is fully ready to receive this love. Because the truth is, if your soulmate returned to you today, but you are still holding on to past wounds, doubts, or fears, if you are still questioning your worth, still doubting whether you are truly meant for this connection, then the love that is meant to unite you would struggle to fully bloom. The angels are asking you to step into your highest vibration, to prepare not just for the arrival of your soulmate, but for the life that you are meant to live alongside them. Because love like this does not come into your life to remain small, comes to expand you, to elevate you, to push you into your highest self. And so now the question shifts from when will they realize the truth to are you ready for them when they do? Because they are coming. The universe has already set this in motion. But what they will find when they reach you, that depends on you. So in this moment, the angels ask you to do 3 things. First, release any doubts that this love is meant for you. You have spent enough time wondering if this connection is real. The answer has been given to you. The signs have been placed before you. Your heart has always known the truth. Stop questioning it. Stop resisting it. Trust in the divine plan. Second, align yourself with the love you wish to receive. Your soulmate is awakening, but their journey is still unfolding. Do not let your energy become one of waiting and longing. Instead, shift into preparation and embodiment. Live as if this love is already yours. Become the version of yourself who is already living in this reality. When you do this, you send out an energetic signal to the universe, one that calls your soulmate to you even faster. Third, surrender the timing but remain open to the signs. The angels are orchestrating this reunion, and divine timing is unfolding exactly as it should. Do not fall into impatience or despair. Instead, remain in a state of faithful expectation. Trust that the right moment is being prepared. And as you wait, watch for the signs. The universe will continue to communicate with you, showing you when the moment is near. Because, dear soul, the moment is near. The love you have been waiting for. The connection that was written before this lifetime. It is already unfolding. Your soulmate is on their way to you. The final steps are being taken. But now it is your turn to step forward. Because this is not just about waiting for love to arrive. This is about becoming the person who is ready to receive it. So take this message into your heart. Live as if the love you desire is already yours. Because the truth is, it already is. It always has been. And now it is finally on its way back to you. Amen.